Okay, so we're back again today. EU had their reset. Asia is probably having their reset around the time that we're recording this.
Yep.
NA has been, but specifically Liquid, has been pulling the jailer pretty much all day at this point, around maybe like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, they woke up about 6 to 8 hours ago.
So there's been a lot that's gone on. So first off, basically, there are 2 Chinese guilds in the top 5. Aster claiming that 5th spot. Skyline in World 4th right now.
Yep. And then SK Pieces in 3rd, European guild, and then we've got Liquid in 2nd of progression.
Yeah.
Like they got World 2nd Rygalon, but they are ahead right now on the jailer, and Echo are currently in the reverse of that spot. So which one you want to call first, which one you want to call second, doesn't matter. What matters is who kills the jailer first.
How did you feel about Echo's reclear?
Echo's reclear was phenomenal. So Echo recleared with less than 3 wipes per boss, except for Artificer Zymox taking the old 4 wipe spot, I think.
I feel very smart about this because whenever I was talking to OK Mage in the morning, I knew that Artificer with like more gear made push
It makes
timings,
it harder. Yeah, you have to stop dam.
It makes push timings really awkward, and like if you're trying to jam it through, you're gonna be like, okay,
You gotta stop dam.
They're gonna take 3 pulls to realize that they stopped DPS.
You gotta stop dam on that one if you're reclearing.
Yeah.
That's a fight where you stop dam for a couple weeks, your damage kind of stabilizes at a high number, and then you learn how much you can push.
Yep.
Anduin got buffed this reset.
Yes.
Did not prove to be a wall for any guilds that I know of so far that has pulled it on Mythic. I haven't seen anybody really struggling with re-killing Anduin if they killed it before, even though it had those bugged Wicked Stars that now are fixed. The compensation of the double Legos, and I think of just the experience that all the guilds that have killed it have with the fight has led to Liquid got it in like 10.
Yeah.
Echo got it in 3. And so, yeah, the reclears have been... I mean, I don't know about all the reclears from World 3rd through 8th or anything like that, but I do know that World 1st and 2nd reclears were both fast.
I mean, in addition to that, it's like, whenever you have Anduin at like 10 to 15% coming out of the second intermission, there's only so many empowered Wicked Stars you have to really deal with.
Right, exactly. You just nuke the boss, and a couple of Wicked Stars are bouncing around, a couple people getting silenced. Whatever, you don't need everybody alive to kill that boss anyways. In fact, it's kind of easier if a couple people die, less people need to get healed, more soaks in the middle of the room. It's a very weird end of a fight.
But anyways, yeah, Echo's reclear seems like it went flawlessly. They were able to get onto
the jailer very quick on their first day of the reset, which, yeah, that was really big. And then we got to see, for a while, Echo and Liquid both pulling boss at the same time.
Yeah.
Echo got within a couple percent of Liquid. Liquid opened that up a little bit again before Echo went to bed. And now Echo are going to bed, and Liquid are still pulling the boss. So presumably Echo are going to wake up to a solid gap that will have opened up.
Okay, so let's talk about the jailer a little bit. So something that we promised yesterday.
Yeah, so here's a look at some of the mechans on this encounter on Mythic, which this is Phase 2. And one of the things that's true about both Phase 1 and Phase 2 is you need to soak these Azurite puddles. You can see this over here. And so when you go over here and soak them, you need a line of people that links the soak to the middle of the room.
Yeah.
In Phase 2, it also is sending out these swirlies, and if these hit anybody, it explodes in like a 20-yard AoE around that player, which is really, really brutal.
Think kind of like Kill Jaden from Tomb of Sargeras with those circles that you would have to dodge. A little bit less oppressive, I will say, but similar mechanic-ish.
Now, one thing that you're also trying to do on this fight on Mythic is you need to do that because that heals up Azeroth, right? Azeroth's health you can see. Actually, I don't even know if it's in frame on for everybody, but yeah. It's it's in frame. Okay, cool. Yeah. That needs to get healed up because the boss, most of the wipes that we've seen on this, like even when people are making it to P2 or to P3 rather, they're making it to P3. The jailer's walking in the middle of the room. He's hitting Azeroth twice as he starts that phase. And that's bringing Azeroth low enough that it just ends the fight. You lose.
Phase 1 for both Liquid and Echo is seeming to get relatively consistent. Their damage coming out of Phase 1 is okay, but not great. And then we see their damage kind of start to fall off a cliff in that Phase 2.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Phase 2, a lot of mechanics that need to get done. I suspect that we are going to see that damage get optimized over the next day or so.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to be a question of like, hey, does this boss die in the next 24 hours? It could. There's definitely a chance. This is the first time that I've ended one of these recap videos thinking Next one might be the last one. But
one
I still
after
think
that-
it's not likely.
Yeah.
The one after that, I think, has got a good chance, though, of
Okay.
being the last one. It could still last a couple more days. It could go into the weekend. Is there a mythic phase?
I don't know.
Maybe. There's
Maybe.
data mine spells. Are there data mine spells? Are they for this, or are they just for, I don't know, for memes? Unused spells?
Are they just
spells from early testing?
Yeah, early testing, or are they unused?
From some other thing?
know-
Who knows? But there are some data mine spells, like a 35% heal on the jailer.
They're all uncategorized and stuff like that, so it's like really hard to tell.
Could be a mythic phase, though. Could be a mythic phase when they reach 0. It's a possibility, and that will affect the race, too. I think that would be good for Echo at this point.
I agree with that.
I think Echo are really hoping to avoid the boss dying on Thursday, because I think they probably lose if it dies on Thursday.
I agree.
Whereas obviously, the farther away it gets from Thursday, the more time they'll have to close the. It's not a big gap, but they're probably going to be about 12 hours of progression behind by the time they're waking up.
I feel like they're like, whenever Liquid starts pulling at the start of their day, I feel like they were still just like 2 to 3 hours behind on today's start, which is a scary position to be in whenever you're Echo.
Exactly, because like that's the best time of the day for you, right? Like that's when you should be the farthest ahead, is right as Liquid is waking up, right?
Yeah.
So if you're still behind there, that's going to be the time that's the scariest. Yeah, I mean that just means that you need to make up some ground. So.
I mean, all it takes is either a couple bad hours from Liquid or a couple really good hours from Echo.
And that's one of the scariest things about Echo as a guild historically has been their ability to just chain together progression pulls through really hard phases. That's something they've done really impressively before. So definitely their best shot this time. I would say at this point, I would say it's probably what, like 60-40 Liquid, something like that. How would you be betting on this one? What odds would you be setting?
I think I'm okay with 60-40 Liquid.
60-40 Liquid? Yeah.
I think that Liquid is definitely in the lead right now, but I don't think it's by enough to be definitive
I
on
do think
anything.
Echo's Dam is maybe a little better.
I do agree with that,
but their Dam has been a little better kind of this whole time, and that's kind of always true about them as well.
I'm really oh man, they killed
Echo, I think the thing is, Rygalon was the boss where that really mattered.
Yeah,
I think this boss, like, being 2% more Dam, 1% more Dam is not going to be super relevant.
Echo killing Rygalon as fast as they did, and then just like not breaking down massive barriers whenever they could have, like, actually taken the lead, at least in terms of like jailer percent, because of just doing all of their chores on that Tuesday.
Yeah.
That
I mean, it's
hurts
hard.
them.
It's tough because like it's not like that was necessarily a mistake from their end. It's
Yeah.
just a case of like that's what being the European guild you kind of are obligated to do. You don't really have a good option. The other thing we want to talk about though is the raider fatigue situation, which is 16 days into the race to World First. Players are starting to get tired. Nobody was really expecting it to go this far. I've seen some sections of Max's stream from Liquid talking about how, like, if people knew the race was always going to be this long, a lot of them would quit. And this is not the sort of length of race that they are hoping to see.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're like
I've seen that also from some Echo players too.
I've talked to the Echo guys, and they were like,
some are all about it.
a lot of them were like, at least in my experience, they've just been like, okay, it's not even an issue of it being that long. It's more of an issue that we didn't know it was going to be that long.
Right. I think that would definitely help. I'm like, I certainly, if you knew, then the people who weren't okay with it would just quit, right?
Yeah.
And that would work out. I've seen some takes about it as well. That's like nobody's forcing people to do this, right? But I do think that the Race to World First is a really cool thing that's grown up in the last couple of years, and the circumstances of the last couple of years have been Reset 1 or Reset 2 raids.
Yeah.
And so, like, I certainly think that there's a chance that if that changed to Reset 3, Reset 4 raids, that would potentially kill this really cool thing that started to show up and has thrived in the Reset 1, Reset 2 world. I don't think that any of the individual bosses can be pointed to as a problem, though. I think that they've been pretty much great all through. So, if anything, maybe it's a case of, like, these banger bosses need to be spaced out a little bit more, because Sanctum didn't have enough banger bosses. Sanctum had, like, Kel'Thuzad, Fate Scribe, Guardian all dying really fast, whereas this raid has had Halandris, Anduin, to a lesser extent Lords of Dread, Rygalon, and Jailer all being, like, really hard. So maybe you take one or two of the bosses from this tier, throw them on last tier, and they're both better balanced.
The problem is, like, it's been a long time since we've had a difficult raid, and as a player, like, I don't know if you're feeling this way, but whenever I'm playing the fights, I don't even feel like they're that bad. I feel like it was just it's been an issue of like when Double Legendary came out, how Force Set acquisition was. That kind of stuff has kind of slowed down the race.
Force Set was just instant for Liquid and Echo
after like 2 days.
Okay, yeah, it took him a little bit of splits at the start, and it made Heroic Week miserable, but they're always going to find a way for Heroic Week to be miserable. That's never going to get fixed.
Anyways, but like my point was, as a player, I haven't even noticed a problem, and it's honestly felt pretty good.
Yeah. I agree. I think the raid has been a good one. I mean, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying casting the bosses. I've been enjoying raiding.
I like the race. The race has been fun. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to balance raider fatigue with.
Yeah, to some extent, there's some problems with race to world first raiding that are just going to exist, and that's what happens when you commit to competing against either Liquid or Echo. It's like, or both.
With stuff like this, and more like to a lesser extent, like splits and stuff like that. The only real thing that you can do as like a viewer is like, okay, you don't have to like completely agree with them, but more like be sympathetic, I guess.
Certainly, yeah. I think that there's like aggressively attacking the Raiders in any cases. I always think is pretty cringe.
I agree.
I think being a fan of a team is a really cool thing to do, but that shouldn't involve being a hater of the other team or anything like that. But
I kind of agree.
What do you think about the length of the race and stuff? And how are you enjoying the Jailer so far? Let us know in the comments.
All right.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Goodbye, gamers.